Is my mic on now? Everybody, it's Friday, it's 4:45 p.m. It's time for Midtown Happy Hour Live. I am totally famous video guy, Jesse Miller. Since today's content is featuring Hispanicize, I figured I'd get a Presidente. Our intern today suggested we get a Corona. I said, man, there's a global pandemic. You know, have some courtesy. Cheers. Today's episode is fantastic. We're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at the Hispanicize virtual conference. Today's Hispanicize virtual conference had an awesome appearance from none other than Dr. Anthony Fauci. That's pretty cool. We, as the central hub of the Hispanicize virtual conference, the control room at Midtown Video, thanks to Adrian Allen and Steady Image, we had a live host and hostess in LA and several pre-recorded Zoom videos. And again, they're in LA, we're in Miami. We're going to show you how we were able to communicate the whole way through using LiveView bonded cellular technology. A little later in the show, we're going to solve the problem that dynamic hosts such as myself have faced for since time immemorial, and that's how do you get a camera without a camera operator to automatically track you without having to wear a lanyard or, you know, buy an expensive $10,000 server. So stick around to the end of the show. That part's going to be really cool. And now let's start with the beginning of our show, the Hispanicize conference. This is a perfect example of an organization that used to have a great, you know, in-person presence, Latin culture, celebrities, technology, medicine, all kinds of really interesting and relevant cultural topics with a specific focus on the Latin population. You know, one of the largest growing minority group in the United States, and making real relevant impact in our entire hemisphere. So Midtown Video has been helping Adrian Allen and Steady Image deliver that in-person conference now in a virtual way. And today there was a special COVID-themed Hispanicize conference from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I guess that's 9 to 12 p.m. Pacific Time. And we were just blown away to be a part of this because, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Anthony Fauci was a part of it. Alex, do we have a clip from Hispanicize?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. It's a little bit of a surrealistic experience, to be honest with you. It's totally exhausting, but the importance of the mission that we all have, that I'm just a part of, you know, where so many people behind the scenes who are working as hard as I am working.
That was awesome. Dr. Fauci, thanks for being on my show. Really appreciate that. So what I want to offer now is a quick look at, number one, how we communicated with our Los Angeles hosts. And then number two, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into the control room so that you can run your own show from the TriCast, from the NewTek TriCaster. So, Alex, do you have my desktop number two? This is a little look at the connections. So we start with number one. That's a push-to-talk microphone. And this is, well, let's start from the LU600 backpack. Okay, so connecting the SDI output of a camera or of a switcher will allow you to send a very high-quality HD SDI feed over the public internet. It comes with 6 SIM cards in it, so that's 6 4G or 5G cellular modems, what have you, SDI input, and then that's number 4. Number 4 is connected to number 3. Using the magic of the public internet and 4G cellular data, Midtown Video has a LiveView LU2000 server here in our control room. That's how we got the SDI feed from the camera in LA to mix into, to host, to introduce each Anthony Fauci and other interview of the Hispanicize content from today's COVID-themed show. The reason I brought this up is to show you that using a push-to-talk microphone and a USB interface, we here at the control room can communicate over the public internet through the LU600 or any LiveView encoder's headphone output. So down here you see the headphones are connected to a backpack. That's my number 5 slide. The headphones are connected to the LU600, and the camera operator can plug in directly, or you could put it on a splitter and feed a wireless transmitter to get a nice in-ear receiver for the on-host talent. So just like my friends in the control room are cueing me, okay, Jesse, you're live in 3, 2, 1. Well, our friends in Los Angeles needed to know when they were live, when we were coming out of a package and cutting to the live hosts in LA, but the control room's in Miami. So we used LiveView's bonded cell package to not only receive their HD SDI stream, but also send back some IFB feed so that we can tell them, get ready, you're live in 3, 2. Anyway, I love virtual conferences, and I like calling out the manufacturers that help us make it possible. I think that's enough of this slide. Would you guys like to see the control room for this Hispanicize virtual conference? We didn't really rehearse this, Alex, but maybe you want to cut to 2 as I transition my way into camera 4. So let's do this. A great time to have a little drink. Oh, okay, we're on 2. Excellent. A great time to have a little drink. This is a happy hour themed show. I hope you've all got your adult beverage. Let's check out Lindsay on camera 4. Hello, Lindsay. How are you doing? All right, so now you're in Midtown Video's control room. Check it out. This is our TriCaster 8000. It's still sort of up from the Hispanicize virtual conference. We had our LiveView LU2000 feeding the TriCaster over SDI. Of course, the LU600s in LA feeding us over the public internet, the audio and video coming in from the hosts over there. And so here's our nice multi-view, and here, down here, is our control surface where we can simply hit play and take Dr. Fauci and Paula Ramos's video. These are some pre-packaged videos that are introduced by the live hosts in Los Angeles. They also had a live DJ. By the way, if you haven't been to Hispanicize.com, I wonder, Alex, do we have a Hispanicize.com lower third? You should really check it out. You could probably catch today's conference and some of their past conferences. The guys at Hispanicize put out a lot of great content, and Adrian Allen with Steady Image put those virtual shows together. We're so thrilled to be a part of it. Hey, now that we're talking about control rooms, now that we're in the control room, would you like to see my control room? Come on over here. We're graced by Mr. Mark Parsons, audio intern. Then we got Adrian Allen, the producer, executive producer of the Air Jamaica Jazz and Blues Festival, and also the Hispanicize Virtual Conference COVID edition featuring Anthony Fauci. This is my main man, Alex Girola, on the 1s and 2s here. And this is our TriCaster TC2E. If you saw us last week, you'll note that the TC2E features Live Call Connect so that we can bring guests in live via Zoom. So, you know, not everybody can put together the budget that requires, the budget required for the LiveView 2000 package. So maybe you want to bring in multiple guests at a time and you don't have the budget for the LU 800 4-camera input encoder, and you got to get it done via Zoom. Well, if you got to get it done via Zoom, try the Live Call Connect feature in our TC2E. So, thank you for joining me in the control room. Let's go back into the studio, as it were, and check out the next segment of our show. Thank you, Lindsay. Now, on camera 2, you'll see the Lumens. Let's see, it's a VC-TR1 tracking camera. What do I mean by tracking camera? Let's activate the tracking here. Let's say you're an educator. Let's say you're a professor. Let's say you're a dynamic host of a television show, and you need a camera that can sort of follow you around, follow you back and forth because you like to pace, you like to move. Well, we're familiar with some old options of tracking cameras. You know, you got to buy an expensive computer and have a server running in the background. Come on, camera, follow me. And yeah, there you go. You got to buy an expensive server to, you know, do a bunch of math in the background, and it's like $10,000 for the server. Plus, you got to buy the camera. That might not cut it for some of our educational clients, for some of our corporate clients, for some of our house of worship clients. What if you wanted a $3,000 automatic tracking camera? Well, the Lumens VC-TR1 probably fits the bill for you. This sucker lists at $29.99. I bet you might even get a better deal for it from your friends at Midtown Video. Just call up Sherry or Fernando or Carl Van Ormer or even Jesse Miller and say, I want that tracking camera that Jesse was talking about. It's the Lumens VC-TR1. This was, you know, there's no operator here. This camera has been following me left and right, back and forth. And so to sort of give you an example of how it's so cool, and also to excuse myself in case there were any errors. Check out my desktop here. Alex, you might show my desktop to my friends on the YouTube screen. Desktop 2, actually. Thank you very much. You'll note that the applicable range, the distance of the VC-TR1, is between 4 and 15 meters. So before engaging in this demonstration, I did read the manual, as I'm wont to do. And, well, we're about 4.5 meters, so we're just inside the acceptable range. I think camera 1 is ready for us now. Just inside the acceptable range of between 4 and 15 meters. Now, I mentioned some competing tracking cameras that are very expensive because you have to buy a separate server, right? So the advantage the VC-TR1 has is that it's inexpensive, $3 grand. That includes the camera and all of the auto tracking software. But there's another advantage of the Lumens VC-TR1. Would you believe that it's easy to use? Believe it or not, it's pretty simple. So Alex, let's go to my desktop number 1 here. And let's not go to desktop number 1 just yet. Wow. Oh yeah, maybe it doesn't like to show up when we're not tracking. You know, the idea of this part of the show was for me to give you a quick look at the software that makes it so easy to use. But the more I look at it now, the less I want to do that. We're experiencing something that might happen during a Mercury retrograde, where just when you need the software to show up, it fails to show up. But let's go back to 2, because you know how much fun it is to operate a tracking camera? Check this out. This is the super wide panoramic shot that the camera has when you're not tracking. And using my remote control, I can just switch that sucker into tracking mode. It should zoom right in on me. Hello, me. And, okay, there we are. It found me. And even better than just finding me, it's going to follow me. Now, normally, when it's not a live scenario, we can take our time and really get into the software, and it takes 2 clicks. Click number 1, you draw the bounding circle around which the camera can track you. Click number 2, you draw the blocking circle. You say, listen, if I walk into this area, don't track me anymore. Once you've done those 2 simple things in the software, the camera tracks you. It's really easy. You don't need to know its IP address. You don't need any of that stuff. You download the Lumens software. You open up the Lumens software. It will provide for you a live feed from the camera, and it gives you the graphic interface and says, would you like to draw the square around the area the presenter should walk? Would you like to zoom in on the presenter's face and describe how tight or wide a shot that you'd like this presenter to have? Well, you can do all those things with the VC-TR1, and maybe we'll follow up this live show with a more produced show. Maybe we'll take our time and show you the software in a forthcoming video. Alex, you know, even better than camera 2, let's, camera 1, huh? There we are. Man, we're so good in rehearsal. The nature of live TV. Anyway, I want to take a moment to thank all of our viewers. You guys, we love it when you tune in. We ask you on Fridays to cut out of work a little bit early. It's 4:45. Well, it's 5 o'clock now. So open up an adult beverage. Cheers to you for joining us. Really helps the 4K go down smooth. We love it when you watch. We love it when you chat and ask your questions in the chat room. We love it when you engage us after the show and say, hey, what was that thing I saw on your show? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? We hope you'll join us next week, where the topic will be, what could I put into my personal podcast studio? Or what can I put into my desk or smaller area to get really enhanced looking video conferencing? That's going to be a hell of a show. We hope you'll tune in next Friday at 4:45 p.m. We'll be streaming live every Friday at 4:45 p.m. on Midtown Happy Hour Live. Today's technical director was Alex Girola. Our intern is Mark Parsons. Camera operator, Lindsay Kogan. Thank you for joining us today. Special guests, Dr. Anthony Fauci and Adrian Allen of Steady Image. Thank you all for being a part of the show, and thank you all for watching. This is Totally Famous Video Guy, Jesse Miller, thanking you once again for being a part of Midtown Happy Hour Live.
Jesse Miller and Midtown Video presents the Jesse Miller Show. Yeah. the middle.